I recently spent 62 hours on the world's newest love boat, the Sun Princess. I was invited for a 3-day media and travel agent cruise where they highlighted the newest and the best on Sun Princess. And I guess my big takeaway from those 62 hours is summed up best in this statement. This cruise wore me out. It wore me out. There's so much to see in such a short period of time. And well, I'm gonna do my best to show it all to you. Plus, there was even a surprise celebrity sighting. I didn't expect that. 62 hours on the brand new Sun Princess. Let's go. So our adventure begins in Fort Lauderdale, more specifically at Port Everglades, around 4 p.m. when we arrived at the port to board the Sun Princess. It was pretty crowded. It took us about an hour to get on board, but once on board, we immediately had an event to attend. It was a welcome reception in the Sanctuary Club. Sanctuary Club, one of the amenities of the Sanctuary Collection. That is Princess's new exclusive ship within a ship concept, which gives people who purchase it access to their own restaurant, the Sanctuary Restaurant, of course, the Sanctuary Club, and also the Sanctuary Suite Lounge. After the welcome reception, it was dinner time, and our first dinner experience was at Love by Brito. World-renowned artist Brito partnering with Princess for a food experience all about love. Brito's artwork prominently displayed in the show plates, and the food carried out the love concept with hearts apparent and visible on almost every dish. After our dinner at Love by Brito, we were taken up to the Lido deck, and we were positioned along the railing of the cruise ship and told to look yonder for a special surprise entertainment activity. And well, it was a drone show. It was a full-on drone show celebrating the arrival of Sun Princess in North America, and also an homage to Port Everglades, to Fort Lauderdale. Wild show, fantastic show. And this was 750 drones working in wonderful coordination to provide a really fantastic side of the ship experience that I've never seen before. After the drone show, we had some time on our own. I made my way down to deck 7 to check out the new coffee experience on the Sun Princess called Coffee Currents. Really cool coffee bar and seating area. I met up with fellow YouTuber there, Derek from Island Time, and his wife Amanda. We had some great conversations at the coffee bar, and then we made our way to O'Malley's, which is a new concept for Princess, a pub concept where we saw a wonderful Irish trio. And then I called it a night. I knew I had an early day the next day. Day 2 of my 62 hours on the Sun Princess kicked off with a full guided ship tour. The ship tour was hosted by Brianna from Princess, and she took us all over the cruise ship, showing us the new spaces and also showing us some of the cabins. After the ship tour, we made our way to the Gerard Bertrand wine tasting. This is a video-led tasting experience on the Sun Princess where you taste 8 glasses of wine, 4 whites and 4 reds, included this cheese plate. And unfortunately, we didn't make it all the way through the tasting before we had to go to a very special lunch. It was a sushi lunch at Makato Ocean, and Chef Makato was there to talk to us about the food. We saw him prepare some of the sushi, and we were able to engage in a 7-course sushi meal. Wow, this was fantastic. And we got rushed out of that thing too, unfortunately, because there was a big presentation going on in the Princess Arena, the What's Next presentation hosted by Princess President John Pageant. And this presentation by JP was something else. And this is where the surprise celebrity showed up. I'm going to tell you about that after I get through the recap of the days. After the What's Next presentation, we made our way to the Eclipse dining room for a culinary presentation. This was really fantastic. We knew that we wouldn't be able to try all of the food venues in such a short amount of time, so they brought all of the food venues to us. Unfortunately, not for tasting, but just for presenting. We got a good look, a good sampling of all of the different food options available on the cruise ship, at least the primary dish from each one of the restaurants, and drinks from all of the bars. A really neat way to see all of the culinary options all at once. It became pretty obvious at the Culinary Showcase that a return visit to the Sun Princess definitely needed if I wanted to try all of the great food offered on that brand new cruise ship. After the Culinary Showcase, we hustled our way over to Alfredo's Pizza, where there was a pizza demo with the 13-time World Pizza Champion Tony G. Tony G has provided 5 new pizzas for Alfredo's, and a spoiler alert, I would get a chance to try them, just not today, but it was cool to see Tony G in action making his signature pizzas. And then there was a little downtime so that we could get ready for dinner, and tonight's dinner was at Catch by Rudy. This is the seafood restaurant, and I think maybe I made a rookie mistake. Everyone at my table had some pretty fantastic looking seafood dishes, and I opted for land and sea, and it was probably the least spectacular of all the dishes. Maybe a lesson learned: don't order beef at a fish place, at a seafood restaurant. It was good, but I don't know that it was as good as some of the seafood-only dishes. We quickly finished our desserts, including this huge souffle at Catch by Rudy, and made our way back to the Princess Arena for the show that night, which was amazing. Viva la Musica in the arena. It was the very last performance of the inaugural cast on Sun Princess. These folks have been together since this ship launched, and it was a very high energy and very emotional show. And look, by the time that show ended, it was close to 11 p.m. And I know some of my colleagues partied into the night, but not me. I took myself to bed because I knew the next day held another full day of activities. Day 3 kicked off with one of my favorite cruising activities, ship spotting. My buddy Don and I got off the cruise ship in Nassau and spotted all of the ships that were in port, and it made for a pretty great morning. We did have a noon engagement, and that was at Alfredo's Pizza, where we got to sample all 5 of Tony G's signature pizzas, and we also tried the signature Alfredo's Pizza, the Princess Pizza. Followed up pizza with afternoon tea with Royal Chef Darren McGrady. Now, this is normally a video presentation that walks you through the etiquette of royal high tea, but we were in for a surprise. We actually had Royal Chef Darren McGrady on board, and he walked us through it, and it was fantastic. He was chef for Queen Elizabeth, and he was also the chef of Princess Diana at the time of her passing. And very eerily, he told us that the night of her car accident, he was waiting for her with food. A great tea experience, and I even got to see Stanley the Bear, which was fantastic. After the royal tea, I moved on to the next event, which was at the Sanctuary Club. It was another mixer with everybody there that was in attendance. I didn't grab a lot of footage in the Sanctuary Club, so let me show you again me ringing a bell and getting champagne. It magically appears from the grass wall. This was my favorite thing in the Sanctuary Club, worth revisiting. And in all honesty, we weren't at the mixer very long because we got surprised with a show in the Dome. This was something that a lot of us wanted to see, and we got an exclusive sneak preview of the new show, Art Beats by Brito. This is another Brito connected Princess experience. And in the Dome, this is a multi-use space. We saw them using it for yoga. There's a swimming pool in there. It's like an observation area. And they also have these Cirque du Soleil type shows. And that's certainly what this Art by Brito was. We had aerialists, we had the guy working the big ring on the floor. This was a great place to see this circus arts type show. Very close to the performers, the aerialists, the acrobats. A really cool venue to see this show. Glad that we got to do that, but we didn't have much time to linger. We had to move on to our next dinner experience. And tonight for our group, that dinner experience was in the Sanctuary restaurant. This is like an elevated main dining room, and I had some of my favorite cruise food: escargot, Caesar salad, chicken parm, creme brulee, a really nice meal. And then to top off the night, we really were treated to a wonderful experience at the brand new Spellbound by Magic Castle on the Sun Princess. This is a partnership with the invite-only Magic Castle in California, where they bring that Magic Castle experience to the sea. You had to go in the secret door here where even more secrets awaited you. We ended up in a speakeasy with an invisible piano player, fantastical drinks, a parlor magic show. It's hard to describe. This experience normally includes dinner, but we did not do the dinner for Spellbound as we were trying other restaurants, but we got the rest of the presentation, and this was fantastic. I can't wait to do the full experience when I cruise on Sun Princess again. And look, I think by the time I was done hanging out in Spellbound, it was 11:30, and I still had to go pack all of my clothes and get ready for a 6:15 a.m. disembarkation. So I bid adieu to my friends, and I got back to my cabin and got ready to leave. Whew! I am worn out again, just recapping all of the things that I did on Sun Princess in just that short time period. But I got some bonus stuff for you. I want to tell you about some things that are new to Sun Princess that aren't on other Princess cruise ships. I want to tell you some of my first impressions of Sun Princess in just that short period, and reveal the surprise celebrity. The stuff that's new that I noticed, first and foremost, they have destination elevators, which is really cool. I found them to be very helpful, that there wasn't a lot of congestion on the elevators. I like destination elevators. Not everybody is down with it. The second thing that's different on this cruise ship, this Princess cruise ship, than other Princess cruise ships is the location of the buffet and the International Cafe. International Cafe traditionally on the bottom floor of the piazza, that would be deck 7 on this cruise ship, but it's not. It's up on deck 9, and the buffet, normally it would be higher up on the cruise ship on the Lido deck, but on this cruise ship, it's not. It's also on deck 9. The Lido buffet and the International Cafe almost right next to each other on this cruise ship. And I think it worked fairly well. I think it's probably an efficiency thing for where the galley is, where the kitchen is. And one big thing about the buffet here is that it is crew served. It is not self-served. And I had an epiphany looking at that food that I hadn't had in other cruise served buffets. The food doesn't look abused. I think everybody jabbing food with tongs maybe makes it look less appealing. I only had one meal at the buffet. It was breakfast on the second day. This is the food I had there. I got this bagel with lox and some fruit. It was delicious. It was good. I didn't really get anything from the International Cafe, but there was some pretty great things in the cases there, including the schnitzel sandwich. I should have tried that out. They also had some other included food I didn't get to sample. There was the Lido slice and the Lido taco. Those are both new brandings of Lido food. Lido taco, completely brand new. And then also I want to mention the cabins are arranged in a different way. Traditionally, Princess cabins are separated. The closet is separated away from the sleeping area. Not on Sun Princess. The wardrobe right in the middle of the cabin. And I think it worked out pretty well. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to Sun Princess, but those are some of the differences I noticed right away. And I guess that's a good segue into what my initial impressions are. My initial impressions are this cruise ship is different. This is a departure for Princess. I think Princess loyalists, people that have cruised Princess for a lot, there's going to be some people that are not happy about some of the changes, but I'm a big fan of change because I believe that's how things are innovated, by changing and trying new things. But of course, we're getting shown, you know, all the best stuff. So I'm not naive to the fact that they rolled out the red carpet for us. I'm excited to go back on Sun Princess in December, kind of more as a low-key kind of deal and see what the experience is like. But overall, my first impressions of Sun Princess are it is good, and I can't wait to see how they continue to innovate in Sun Princess and in Star Princess. You may have caught it, you may not have caught it, but I did do a first impressions video with a lot of the other cruise YouTubers that were on this sailing with me. It was a pretty entertaining video. I'm gonna leave that linked at the end of this video. I'll also leave it in the very first comment so that you can check that out. I would highly recommend that. And now the big reveal of the surprise celebrity. It was supermodel Tyra Banks. Who would have thunk that? We were right there in that presentation with John Pageant and Tyra Banks and Princess. They have a partnership with the ice cream that Tyra has developed. And there you go. She was right there, a supermodel in the Princess Arena. How about that? Like I said, this cruise wore me out, but guess what? I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more. I'll be back on Sun Princess in just a few weeks. I can't wait to continue to explore this cruise ship. What about you? Have you cruised on Sun Princess? Would you like to? Big thanks for watching this video today. If you could, hit the like button on your way out. If you want more of this content, just hit that subscribe button and check out that collaboration video. It's popping up next. This is Tony for Lido. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.